I haven't recorded a podcast in so long. I'm not entirely sure I remember how this works. What episode am I on? Oh god. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, I should have gotten a drink. I really don't feel like going downstairs again. There. This is going to be one of those episodes where I just ramble on and on, because I've got some show notes, but they're not really super extensive, and I probably should have taken the time to written down some more notes, but time. It's been really sunny here. It's been crazy. Like on Thursday it was almost 30 degrees Celsius. On Friday it was 24. Yesterday was 26 in some areas. Today's been pretty warm as well. So it's really nice, except that tomorrow is gonna cool down and be cold again. So I think we're going to go from 23 today to 13 tomorrow, which is an insane temperature jump. It's like 10 degrees. But I suddenly realised I put away most of our winter stuff, like hats and scarves and gloves and stuff like that, mittens, because I didn't think we'd need them anymore. But I don't know, maybe it'll be colder tomorrow. Maybe I'll regret that decision. I don't know. I've got my scarves out, I think, but so that's not really a problem. It's just that I put all of Derek's stuff away. He might need something tomorrow morning. Anyway, never mind. Let's start. Hello, welcome. My name is Melanie. This is the Braid and Tinker podcast, episode 8. 8! Exciting. Yes, you can find me on other places on the internet, usually as Braid and Tinker. I'm on Ravelry as Braid and Tinker. I'm on Etsy as BraidAndTinker.etsy.com. I'm on Instagram as Melanie_knits, so slightly different one. You can also email me at BraidAndTinker@gmail.com if you have any questions or things that you would like to email me. Go ahead. Yes, today is Sunday the 21st of April. Does that sound right? I don't know. I don't want to look it up anyway. It doesn't matter. Yes. So it's Sunday the 22nd of April. Let me just adjust my notes. There we go. I have some admin stuff. On Friday the 27th, it is King's Day in the Netherlands, but more importantly, I will have a shop update. Woohoo! So I'll be stocking my Etsy shop on Friday evening at 8 o'clock Central European Standard Time, Amsterdam time. 8 o'clock in the evening, Amsterdam time. So you can look up online, whatever local time that is for you. I have been dyeing up a whole bunch of stuff, and I will be showing some at the end of the episode. Not everything. If you want to see everything before it goes online, the best thing is to go to Instagram and follow me there, and look at the Instagram stories, because that's probably where I'll be posting most of the skein colorways before they go live on Friday. And I'll also take some pictures of skeins together so people can see like what the differences are, because there won't be any kits, but I know kits are popular, and I know people like to see what colorways look like when they're together to, you know, decide on possible kit or fade or whatever selections. So that's all on Instagram, and you can find me there on as Melanie_knits, which I've already said at the beginning of the episode, but that doesn't matter because it's great to have this information again and again and again. Anyway, I have been knitting, but not as much as I should have been. I have mainly been knitting on socks, which is not a surprise because I always knit on socks. And let's start with works in progress. So I've been knitting a lot of the Mountain Rain socks, which is a pattern by Salapalooza Knits on YouTube. I think her name is Elizabeth. She's from Norway, and I love this pattern. It just looks so elegant and it's fun to do. So I'm on pair number 3. I knit a pair out of the Still Frozen colorway by Burt Street UK. And so I was able to squeeze out 2 pairs of socks out of 100-gram skein, and I'm currently knitting pair number 3 on a ball of drops yarn. Let me see if I can find the label. It's drops print. Let me just adjust my microphone because I don't think this is going well. There we go. This is what it looks like caked up. It's just a 50-gram ball, and the color it says is 330, but online you can find it as Berry Dreams. Anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm knitting 2 at a time, and one of them has a heel. It's almost done. Let me see if we can sort of like, there you go. That's what that pattern looks like. Yeah, so can I say anything about this yarn? It was very cheap. I got it online as a sale. I think I paid €2.80 for this, and I really like it. It knits up nicely. The yarn is soft enough. It's not merino, but you know, for €2.80 you can't really expect that. And the sock is pretty stretchy, but maybe that's just the way that I knit it up, but it might be the yarn. I really like the way that it stripes up, and I quite like how it works with the pattern, with the sock pattern. Looks like that. Let me just shove my hand in there. I think it looks quite nice, because sometimes if you do a lace pattern with a self-striping or self-patterning a yarn, it can look a bit wonky, but I think this one looks quite nice actually. I haven't matched up the skein or the ball because I just have one ball and I'm knitting from either end, so they don't really it doesn't really matter. I think it doesn't bother me. And these are going to be short socks because I do like wearing knitted socks even in springtime and colder summer days, obviously not with 30 degrees, and I wear short Converse All Stars, so I like to have short socks to have like you can see like a little bit peeping out. It's something I find comfortable, so that's what I'm knitting. I have another ball of this yarn in a different colour. It's this one. I don't remember the name. Something like berry cake or something like that. This one is 161. But I'll probably knit this one first. This is a ball from West Yorkshire Spinners that I bought in Edinburgh when I was in the local John Lewis there during Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Yes. I really like this. It's a rainbow thing, and I want to knit up a pair of socks for myself and then see how much I have left. Knit some socks for my son. It's a blue face Leicester, and I really like that for socks, so I don't know. It's not like these are the only two choices either. I have so much sock yarn, it's ridiculous, but it's a bit much. Also, I've been thinking I should like put a little pause on sock knitting, and that is because one of my other whips is the May pullover by Andrea Mowry. Well, the pattern is by Andrea Mowry, and you may remember from last time I'd made some progress on that, and I kept on knitting, and I had quite a big chunk of knitting done on it. I think about this much, and so the pattern is for 30 centimeters of positive ease. I knew that from the start. The problem was, I thought, because I usually knit quite tighter, I just thought my size was bigger than the size that I was knitting. So I thought, I'll be, you know, I'll have some of that positive ease will be gone because I'm bigger than the size I'm knitting. No, wait, it's the other way around. That's what I should have thought, and I should have thought that's fine because 30 centimeters is a whole bunch of positive ease. I didn't think that. I thought, I'm bigger than the size that I wanted to knit. I'll just knit a bigger size. And so this sweater or pullover, I know it's supposed to be oversized, but it was going to be oversized. And so I frogged it. And now I'm back to here. It's not very far, and I need to get a move on this one because I am hosting the May knit along, and other people have actually finished their May pullovers or sweaters or tunics, and I'm still at the ribbing, so that's pretty terrible. The cowl or the knit along runs until the end of May, so if I get a move on, it's totally doable because it's quite, you know, it has it's a worsted weight project. It's got needles that are, well, these are size 6.5 millimeter, so it's US 10.5, weird size, and the other ones I think are US size 11, and that's 8 millimeters or 8.5 millimeters, something like that. So the needle's big, the yarn is worsted. I should be zooming through this pullover, but I've been distracting myself with dyeing and sock knitting. So sock knit after these socks, I need to stop for a bit on the sock knitting and focus on the sweater. I have more socks than the needles, of course. I wouldn't just have one sock project. That would be ridiculous. One sock project is not enough. Where are you, socks? Oh, it's the wrong bag. I have my Francis socks. I've shown these in the previous episode. I have not made any progress on that because I was only doing mountain rain socks. So terrible. So that is the May pullover and my mountain rain socks. I have another whip, which is a stash buster, and it's just a garter stitch blanket that I'm doing with leftover hand-dyed yarn, and it's for my son. I'm going to make it for his little bedroom on his bed, because that's what young kids need in the summertime, warm winter blankets. I think it's going to be lovely. It's going to be very bright. I'm just doing garter stitch stripes, alternating the stripes. Nothing fancy, nothing exciting, no, I don't know, it's just something when I want to knit sort of like dumb garter stitch and watch television, that's when I grab this. So I just put like a little plastic bag, so elegant, and I put like leftovers in there that I can knit from. I have way more leftovers than this. These are just the leftovers that I've selected for this project. So, oh, I'm using this on Higher Sharps from my Higher Sharp interchangeable needle set, which I really like because I like Higher's. Actually, these are Higher steels, not sharp, but they say that, but these things are bloody sharp. They will prick you. So, yes, so that was that in terms of whips. On to finished objects. So I finished my mountain rain socks number 1. Put these on the blocker. They've got cat hair on them, which is weird because I haven't worn these yet. So I'm suspecting one of the cats has found them and had little snooze in them. But anyway, I love these socks. I haven't worn them yet because they're like too pretty. I want to keep them. I kind of like, with these socks, I kind of get the appeal of the boxer socks where you knit socks, like a new pair of socks at each month, and you put them in the box, and then at the beginning of the new year you open the box and you have 12 pairs of fresh socks. I always thought that's really dumb because if I finish a pair of socks, I want to wear them today. Blocking is already taking time away from me wearing the socks. But with this pair, they're so lovely. They're so pretty. I don't know. I really like this pattern. I think this part is really pretty. I really like the droplet part on the sides. I put the pattern on the back as well. I did my own heel because I don't really like the what's it called? Afterthought heel. It's not. I've tried afterthought heels a couple of times and it's not my thing. I think it's because of the shape of my foot. Like this bit for a lot of people, the heel kind of like sticks out like on this blocker actually. My foot does not do that. My foot goes straight down for some reason. I probably just have misshapen feet, which is fine. But the short row heel turn works great for my feet. The yarn is Still Frozen by Bird Street UK, and I think this is honestly one of the prettiest skeins of yarn that I've knit with. It was so much fun knitting this. Just like every row, it was constantly something different. I really like the colours, it's really pretty, and I really like the sort of like patterning of the fabric with the pattern of the socks. I liked it so much that I had quite a bit left over, and I knit a pair of shorties with that. So I have actually worn those and they're already a bit grimy. So they're in my bedroom and I'm not going to show them on the camera because they're a bit yucky. But I have, I think, a picture of them together, the longer version and the short version, and I'll insert that here or here or maybe now. So bad joke. But yes. So I'm really happy with these socks, and so yeah, not wearing them yet. But in the beginning I kind of struggled with the pattern in the sense that I had to really keep the pattern where I could read it, and like I'm on sock number 3 now, or like in total, because I do 2 at a time socks, so I'm on sock pair number 3, and I can just do the pattern by heart now because I don't know, it finally clicked. I think really pretty. I really like Bird Street UK's yarn so much, in fact, that I've ordered one of their springtime mystery kit things for the month of May. So at the end of May I'll be getting a skein of yarn from them in who knows what colours, and there should be some goodies with that as well. I'm just guessing stitch markers or something because that's such a logical choice. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that because I quite like, you know, getting yarn in the mail, but then yeah, if it's a mystery, I really like that. You know, if it's like a dyer that I feel I can trust them, and you know, whatever they come up with, I'm pretty sure that I'll like it. You know, you don't have that with all dyers, but I think with Bird Street UK I really like what they do, so I think I'll be good. So I think that's it in terms of FOs. So really only be doing mountain rain socks, so I think after this pair I need to give that pattern a little break. So I've got quite a bit of stash acquisition. I think like 2 weeks ago I was having a bit of a bad day at work, and what I do is buy stuff online because that helps me, not at all, but you know, whatever. So I went to the Ravelry website, which is a yarn store in Rotterdam that has fabulous stuff, and so I have one of her knitter's bullet journals, and I just keep that for like notes and stuff like that. And I really like it, but it is quite big, and I saw that she had smaller versions as well, so I ordered a smaller one. And so these have dots in it that are specifically spaced for knitting patterns. So if you wanted to, you could like dot a little like a little stranded chart in there or stuff like that. So perfect. I haven't actually used it yet, but I kind of feel like it would be more useful than the really big one, but then I want to kind of use this up a bit more and then move on to the smaller one. So Ravelry has, so she's sort of designed this knitting bullet journal, and it's printed and all that jazz in Rotterdam. I think they do a great job of using local shops or local craftspeople to do collaborations or for products for her store. That's Saskia, who's the owner. I think that's really interesting. She also had, so there's a guy called Henk, which is a super Dutch name, and he makes handcrafted wooden crochet hooks, and they are absolutely beautiful. And she sells a bunch of those in Jawel, in her store. And they also had the mini crochet hooks, if you can see that. This thing is darling. I think it's so cute. I put like a little progress keeper thing on so that you can like hang it on your project, and you know, if you make a mistake you can quickly fix it, or which you could also use, wear this as a necklace, and I think it's just so cute. So this is a mini crochet hook from Henk, and it's handcrafted from the Rotterdam area. I think it's, you know, I think she does such a fabulous job of having these like quaint little things in her shop offering. I also went to a local yarn store in Haarlem. There are quite a few, and one is opposite a second-hand video game store, and Derek wants to go to the video game store, and so I went with him, and because he's recently bought a Xbox 360 for not a lot of money second-hand from this guy, and so he wanted to buy some games for it. And I was in the store, and I do like playing video games a lot too, so I picked up some. I'm very much a Nintendo fangirl, so I picked up this really weird mini game for the Nintendo DS Lite. And if I remember, I'll put a picture in here. It's called Project Rub, and it's just, it looks almost like an adult game, if you know what I mean. I don't think it is really, but it's got that vibe to it. You're just doing mini games, which I love. I love mini games. I think mini games are the best. But yeah, I'm actually, so I have a Nintendo Switch, and this is completely tangent, but like one of my most favorite video games for any Nintendo platform is Animal Crossing. And they haven't brought out an Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch yet. And I'm kind of expecting that they will this year. The only problem is, if that happens, knitting time will be very much on the down low. I can remember like one of the latest Animal Crossing games called New Leaf. When that came out, I was playing that non-stop. So it's such a ridiculous game. You're a cartoon character and you live in a village, and the other villagers are animals, and they're extremely cutesy, and you get a house and you are saddled with debt, and the entire object of the game is to pay back debt and make friends and talk to the animals and do errands for them. So weird, but I love it so much because you can just like walk around and, oh, I'll just, you know, get some fruit from the trees, or I'll just go to the coffee shop and do little impromptu barista session, or go to dig some fossils, and you can take the boat, go to an island, do some fishing, catch some sharks, get a lot of money for it. Is honestly, like, I think one of the best games ever. And people are really upset that they haven't brought out one for the Nintendo Switch yet. I'm kind of, I get why, because it's such a good game, but oh well. Anyway, so I got something completely different at secondhand video game store. But we were there and it was really fun. And there was like this old sweet guy at the cash register, and he was super nice. And we got like a discount, which was, you know, not even necessary, because I think because Derek was getting like a stack of games, and you know, we would have paid whatever he was asking for it, because they're secondhand games, you know, they're not expensive, especially if you factor in how much money they cost when these games came out like 10 years ago. It's ridiculous. But he was super nice, and he was really friendly and chatty. And so we are definitely coming back to that store. But then also across the street, there's a yarn store. Oh, so amazing. And so I got these liquor needles, because I usually knit socks on my, that's Derek sneezing downstairs, on my high sharps 2.25 mil, so I think that's US size 1. And so they had, yeah, that's US 1. They had these, and these are the driftwood liquor needles. For this yarn, I really like knitting socks with these. The point is probably not, I mean, I really like the high sharp pointy edge. I love that. This is also quite pointy, not as pointy. Obviously, the metal ones can be pointier, but I think for wooden needles, these are quite, you know, pointy enough, probably. You can do like a nice lace pattern. It will work with these needles. The join is fantastic. It will just slip through your yarn. You don't really notice it. Your yarn does not get caught on it. I think it's a fabulous join. I have a feeling this cable is way more flexible than the Licker interchangeable cable needle. I don't know. I like this one way more than that thing. Do I have it here? Oh yes, of course, it's in my yeah, so I feel like this one, this Licker needle cable is like really hard and unflexible and has like a life of its own, and this one is just perfect for sock knitting, for 2 at a time sock knitting. I really like it. So I don't know, maybe the interchangeable set just not really for me, and I should just stick to fixed circulars. I don't know. I like the higher interchangeable cable. That one's fantastic. It's perfect. It's like really rubbery and flexible, and just like it doesn't spring back in all impossible ways. But anyway, I really like this one. The only thing is, I'm really worried that I will break this needle because it's really thin. Saying that, I have, ooh, do I have them here? Oh, some smaller ones. I think these are like Knit Pro 2.5 mil, so something in US. And I have knit so many things with this, and I have them in a longer size but in the same thickness. Is that a word? Whatever. And they are also quite flexible. Yeah, I think these are like the Rosewood Knit Pro ones. I've never broken DPN, like wooden DPNs, so I'm not super sure why I would think I would break these, but these feel more flexible for some reason. I don't know. I'm just worried that I'll break them, but they were €7 something, so it's not. No, if I would break them, I would just probably not buy them again. But I haven't broken them so far. It's actually going fine, so I can totally recommend these needles. So I got that there, and then I got this skein, which is a Manos del Uruguay Alegria skein. It's 25% polyamide, 75% merino, and the colorway name is Festival. And for some reason, I didn't bring the ball band from the store. She had a ball band near it. There was some yarns without ball bands, and I just grabbed one without it and thinking, I don't need the ball band. And then I came home and I realised it's actually quite an inconvenience, because now I constantly have to remember what this skein of yarn was. And of course I've put myself on a sort of no more sock knitting diet, so I don't know. I really love this skein though. I think these colours are insane and super pretty, and yeah, love it. Like this colour, I would, if like these two colours, like the lighter orange and the pink, if I was only ever allowed to knit with those two colours again, I'd be totally fine with that. But this has everything, and it's so pretty. Really like it. The only thing is, it feels, and I think this is because it has polyamide and not nylon, which are kind of the same thing, but they're not exactly the same thing. It feels a little plasticky. So I don't know about that. I don't know about the yarn, but I do love the colours. This is like, I don't know, it's like an acid trip in yarn or something. It's insane. So pretty. Love it. And then I always also like to get some commercial sock yarn, because who doesn't? And I got this Regia 6-ply yarn. I don't know what the color is on color name is. It doesn't say. It says, so Farbe is like the color, so it's 6971, and then this is the dye lot, but I can't find a name. I'll have to look it up online. Maybe they don't do names. I don't really know actually. The only other Regia yarn I have is from the Arne and Carlos sock collection. I found that yarn was much nicer for socks. This feels a little thick, so I think I mean this is definitely not fingering weight. This is sport to DK weight. It doesn't feel very soft, and it looks quite pilly already, or at least quite fluffy and fuzzy. But anyway, I just like the colours. I think it's very bright. I might just not make socks out of this. Maybe I'll just make a hat out of this, because I think the yarn is more suitable for a hat. Although it does feel a bit scratchy, and I'm a bit sensitive on this bit of my head for scratchiness. So I don't know. I think this is going to be in stash for a little while before I decide what to make out of it. But I quite like the colours. It's very fresh and different, so that's why I picked it up. So you may remember from previous episodes, if you are a returning viewer, and if not, you know, hello, that I didn't have sock blockers. But I have been showing you socks on sock blockers this episode. So Melanie, how did that happen? Well, long story short, somebody gave them to me. They were a present. But I had some stuff that I was waiting for, some online orders I was waiting for, and that didn't come in. And suddenly I got, the postal service has this app, and you can track your packages, and sometimes when things are, if they can't deliver it to your house, you get like a notification and you can say, oh, send it to the post office. So I can go to the post office next morning and pick it up. And I got a notification that a parcel had arrived, but they just sent it to the post office immediately. So I was like, oh, and I couldn't quite place what it was. And so the weird thing was, a couple of nights before that, I was on Etsy because I was thinking, okay, the whole sock blocker, not having them business, you know, it's getting a bit annoying, and maybe I do like sock blockers, because what I was doing before was putting wet socks on my feet and then stretch them accordingly, which was slightly uncomfortable because, you know, damp socks on your feet is not, if it was comfortable, it would be something we'd all be doing, but it's not. And so I thought, okay, I need some sock blockers. So I went on Etsy, I had a look around. I usually try to find sellers from Europe because shipping costs, blah, blah, things like that. So I found a store in Lithuania and I thought, oh, this looks nice. So I put some in my basket whilst I was putting my son in the bath, and he was in the bathtub playing. And I don't know, it was time for him to come out of the bath, so I put my phone away and dried him off, blah blah blah. So I never finished that order, and so I get to the post office and I see this package from that store in Lithuania where I was going to buy the sock blockers. So I was confused as can be, because I was like, did I finish that order later? Did it actually secretly go through? What's going on? So I opened the package and it was from the same store, but it was just, I think, slightly different sock blockers than I had put in the basket initially. And I was like, oh, what's happening here? I'm so confused. And so luckily there was a note from my friend Anouk that she sent me some sock blockers because she couldn't look at my web feet anymore. So she got me these fabulous sock blockers. The other one's downstairs. I don't know why I only brought one up, but never mind. And it says no more boring socks, which is perfect. And as you can see, they're quite easy to put the sock on. You just slide on and it totally is the right size for my foot or for my socks. So now I finally have some nice sock blockers to show my socks on camera. So I'm really excited. So I sent her something as a thank you, of course, because that was really unexpected and really lovely, and really happy about that. So that's the end of all the knitting, really. I will be showing some of the yarns that I've dyed up at the end, but I have like a tiny segment of sewing because, as you may see, we're in the craft room, which is like half of it is Derek's office and half of it is my yarn mess, which is an explosion of yarn and half-finished projects and other things. But it also has my sewing machine, because now I finally have a space for my sewing machine, which is fantastic. So I'd ordered a bunch of fabric online to make project bags or like dresses, because I have made clothes in the past, and I have like a ton of these. So I think this is a German brand, but it's called BraidAndTinker, and they have like the Dutch version, and I find these a bit too difficult, but they also have BraidAndTinker Easy, and their patterns are a bit more easy. I think you can just cut out that, because you get like these pattern pieces in the middle of the magazine. You can just cut them out. You don't have to trace them over with like this tracing paper, which you do with the other Burda ones, you know. I just find that an annoyance. You're first like, it takes about 3 hours to flipping find your pattern, cut it out, trace it, cut it out, and then, you know, pin it to your fabric and cut that out, and I just takes forever. Anyway, so I have a pair of leggings that I love so much, but they were dying because they were just like H&M leggings, black ones with sort of like leather thing on the side, and I mean, I wear them as pants really because they're so bloody comfortable, but so like they were getting threadbare, so I thought, you know what, I'll just do the necessary, take them apart and see if I can use the pieces to recreate those leggings. So it was so terrifying. Now when you have like a favorite outfit, this was the leggings, and I think this is one, the leg that still survived. So I took one leg, I completely dismantled it, and I made myself some leggings, and they look really weird and janky, but actually when I'm wearing them they look really nice. The only thing I have to still do is do something with the legs, because I want to make them a bit longer and nicer looking, because it's terrible. And at the back I still need to sort of like close up the elastic band thing, but they are flipping stretchy and super comfortable, and they're not, yeah, they're a bit see-through, but not a whole, you know, terrible bunch. And I don't think I would wear these as pants because they're not as sturdy, I think, as the ones that I really loved. But, you know, these will, they could totally work under a tunic or anything, something like that. Like, maybe not a dress, but things like that. So I still have like a bunch of different fabrics left. I just want to make maybe some summer dress or something like that. I really like stretchy fabrics, and I don't know, I've been in a couple of stores. We have like a shopping street really close, and I've been into a couple of stores there. It's just almost like quilting cotton that most dresses come in, which, you know, I guess it's fine, it's cheap, but I'm a little bigger sized person, I guess, and I like stretchy clothes because I like to move a little bit and not feel super constricted. But, you know, it does, I do like it if my clothes look nice. I'm not, you know, I'm a software developer. I like 99% don't care, but that 1% part of me does want to look nice once in a blue moon. So yeah, I have a bunch of dresses that are like jersey lycra, but then like a nice jersey lycra, and I bought them online from, there's this shop in the Netherlands, and they have like all the all this, like everything, all the sewing and stuff like that is all done in Europe. And, you know, they have that, like, is that an atelier? I don't know. Anyway, all the sewing is done in Europe, and obviously, you know, somewhere in Eastern Europe where wages are a bit lower, but still, you know, they're not sweatshop, is what I'm trying to say. It's not, you know, from a random shitty factory somewhere in Asia where people get nothing and are working themselves to death. So, you know, they're a bit more expensive, but you get what you pay for. You know, there's one dress I've had like for 5 years and it still looks brand new. It looks fine and it's stretchy. Perfect. Anyway, so that was, I think, last weekend I made those leggings. It kind of reminded me why I like knitting and why I don't really like sewing. Sewing is, you're sitting behind the sewing machine upstairs in the craft room. I'm kind of swearing because I'm not really that good at it and everything's taking a long time, and then 6 hours later I have a pair of half-finished leggings. And knitting takes way longer. It's, you know, I've put many hours in the maple over and halfway decided it was getting too big and too wide and I frogged it and having to start all over again. But with knitting, I can sit downstairs with Derek on the couch, have a cup of tea, be relaxed, watch some telly, or I can sit outside in the sunshine when my son's like playing in the little paddling pool, do some knitting, and I just feel like it's much more social and much more relaxing. And with the sewing machine, one, I have a crappy sewing machine, so you know, I hate the thing and nothing's working and it doesn't look nice. I'm just flipping frustrated. I don't know, I think it might be that my brain is too binary. With knitting, I feel you do a stitch and you've done it like right, or you've done it correctly or incorrectly, and you can do a knit or a purl or whatever, there's many stitches, but it just kind of feels like it's going right or it's going wrong. Whereas with knitting, I feel like I'm all over the place and you have seam allowance stuff, and I don't know, maybe it's just not for me. So my plan now is to sort of stick with it, even though I don't super like it. Because I kind of know from myself that when I start things, it goes like this. It looks like I'm making lots of progress, but it's just because I'm at the very beginning, you know, from nothing to making something. But then I'm still like a super beginner, and then I realize when I'm at this point, I realize how much I still have to learn to get good at something, and then I'm just frustrated and I just feel, oh, I'm just never going to learn. And I think the same was for knitting. It's just that I've been doing that for years, so obviously, you know, you can do more and you're a bit better at it. But with sewing, I'm such a novice and it just frustrates me that I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know, the whole thing is just, I feel like it's just working against me. And then so I'm just gonna finish like the fabrics I have here, which in all honesty is quite a bit, but okay. And when that's finished, then I can decide, maybe I don't like it, maybe it's just not for me, maybe it's time to put the sewing machine away. I wouldn't necessarily get rid of it, because you can always, you know, there's always something you can fix or mend, or, you know, I've mended some of my jeans, or, you know, if there's something that you want to attach to a t-shirt or whatever, you know, it's always good to have a sewing machine in the house. But You know, maybe it doesn't need a prominent space on my desk if I really don't like it, but I feel like I should push through a little bit more and sort of keep at it and see, you know, maybe after 3 projects I'll get a little bit better and it'll get a bit easier. So I think also with the leggings, like just taking them apart took a long time. You know, a leg is a long thing to go through with a seam ripper, especially if there's like 4 seams for a stupid leg. So and I've done that part now, so I can actually use those pieces again, and it would already be much faster than it's been last time. So I don't know, I'll just, maybe hopefully next video I'll have made something that's not crazy. And you know, also maybe I should just not make something from scratch without a pattern. I have pattern magazines, why am I not using them? I have easy pattern magazines with easy to cut out patterns. Maybe I should just start doing that and make a shirt or a skirt or a dress or something like easy. I don't have to make pants. Pants are difficult because it's difficult to get the right fit, I think. But like dress, it's just something you put your head through and your arms through, and then, you know, if it's too wide you put a belt around it and say that's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, so that was way longer than I was planning to talk about sewing. But anyway, it's something I kind of want to get into a little bit more, because I watch other podcasters and they're like, look, I've sewn this wonderful cardigan and made this dress, and now I'm wearing everything, all my clothes, including my underwear, is made by me. And I'm thinking, I can't do any of that. I would like to, though. Not make underwear though, because that seems like lots of work, and especially bras. There are people who make their own bras, and kudos to them, but that does not sound appealing to me whatsoever. Anyway, that was the end of sewing. I have skeins of yarn I want to show you guys, because I'm updating my Etsy shop, as I said at the beginning of this episode, on Friday the 27th of April, and if you're watching this video after that time, I'm pretty sure there will still be some yarn in the store, or you know, maybe I'll just continue dyeing, because I do really like dyeing yarn. The good thing about yarn dyeing is if nobody buys it, I can just use it, because I do knit up quite a lot of stuff. So I have about 4 of these bags from IKEA, and I'm just showing you one. This is the Raspberry Pi colorway. This is Sidekick. This is Let's Play Video Games. I love my Tamagotchi, because I did love Tamagotchis. I have a ton of Tamagotchis. I have like collectible Tamagotchis from Japan, because I was so into it. I'm just one of those people, I think, who doesn't really know how to control themselves. I don't like things. I go from mildly interesting to bloody obsessed in a very short amount of time, and then I need to have everything, which is, I think, how I got into the sort of like crazy yarn space in the first place. But I think more people who are knitters are like that, but maybe software developers too, but who knows. So I've just been playing around with these, and like I really love this kind of like pairing, but for some reason I just really love purple and yellow together as well. So many great combinations, I think. Anyway, I have a ton more colours and colourways, and if you're interested in them, go to my Instagram account, which is Melanie_knits, and I'll just be sort of like showcasing them until the massive grand shop update on Friday. I love that Friday is like a day off. It's King's Day. It's the King's. So in the Netherlands is a monarchy and we have a king, also queen, but she's like only a queen because she married someone who was going to be king. So she doesn't really have any rights. We used to have a queen. She had like a ton of stuff to say, but the queen we have now is really just for show. But she's really nice. I don't have anything against her. I don't have anything really per se against the monarchy. It's just that I don't always see their value and they cost lots of money for taxpayers. But apparently they do bring in a lot of business for Dutch companies. So, you know, if that's true, then I have absolutely no opinion on the whole situation. But I do like that I'm getting a day off because of someone's birthday that is not mine. Anyway. So if you're a little bit interested in the Dutch royal family, tell your employer that you need a day off as well to celebrate King's Day. I would if I were you. You know what Dutch people do on King's Day? They drink beer, and a ton of it, and they go stand in the streets, and then people get like a bunch of old crap that they have and they put it on mats and then they sell it. People go buy secondhand toys, clothes, stuff, kitchenware, anything. You can find anything on King's Day. And people like walking around, beer in one hand, random stuff they bought in the other. It's what we do. It's what Dutch people do. We like it. Anyway, I have a kid now because the night before King's Day, that's when the big parties happen. That's what we used to do, but I'm someone's mother now, so I'm not really interested in all the party business anymore. I'm also getting old, I think. I like after one glass of wine, I've had enough. It's like, what's happening? Who am I? I don't know. Life is happening. Ugh. I'm rambling. So sorry. I'm pretty sure nobody's made it to the end of the video, which is, if you have made it to the end of the video, I have another secret word. The secret word this week is bananas. So we can see in the comments who made it to the end of the video. That was it. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't be scared. Sometimes my episodes are a bit more coherent than this. And I will see you again, hopefully in 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, but who knows. Have a great time knitting because knitting is wonderful. Bye!